I've known Tom for ages, and actually, before I talk about this slide, he suggested I talk about me for a little bit, which is the fact I will. I'm a bit of a techie. I started a business about the same time Tom started Foolproof in Shoreditch when it was actually pretty uncool in 2001 too, and it was £8 a square foot cheap, and also it was really diverse. We had all sorts of people from artists, humanities, architects, accountants, black, white, yellow, a whole mixture of people in these cheap places. In the tea building, you know, I knew the barn owner downstairs. I built a business in that time that we built the first automated ad platform for Facebook before they had an ad platform. And it was built by a bunch of 20-somethings from Harvard to Hackney. So we actually did employ people from Hackney rather than just using them as a PR vehicle. And we created this business with no VC funding, grew internationally, had offices in San Francisco, in LA, in Sydney, and we sold it last year to Experian, another British success story, the biggest British data businesses in the world, FTSE listed, and I was quite pleased that that sale or transaction never hit TechCrunch. So we weren't in the gossip mags of technology either, and it was a deal without any VCs being involved, completely self-funded. We had diversity, we had women and black people in our company, and in Shoreditch, which was quite incredible. And so I was quite proud of it. And actually, that's led me to Freeformers, because I thought actually, you know, the tech side is one thing, but maybe people was more my skill set and transformation. So I started something called Freeformers, as well as angel investing and a load of things. Now let's talk some stories about some young people. So that big picture there's a girl called Jintari. And Jintari, that's her, last month, actually 3 weeks ago, speaking at Future London, the Wired conference. A month before that, Jintari won the Facebook World Hack against 200 of the best engineers in the UK to open Facebook's new offices. A month before she won the Facebook World Hack, she learnt to code at one course we set up, 5-day course, in fact. Before that, she was an arts community worker. A year before that, she was in Lithuania and couldn't speak a word of English. So that's Jintari. Can you see down there, there's another photo of Jintari next to a bloke. That's Alexander. And they met in the UK, they're both from Lithuania. He also couldn't code and was at the same course, and helped her build apps, including the one that won the Facebook hackathon as her understudy. And now, between them, they've created, in the last month, I invested in them, actually, they've created 15 apps in the last 30 days, of which one made the Pars Gallery, one's got investment as a business, and they're doing pretty good things. They're also teaching other young people. So above there can you see there's a picture of me looking a bit slimmer. And there's a guy called Josh there. Can you see between Amy and Fran? Yeah, can you see him? Josh. So Josh taught Jintari on that 5-day workshop. A month before Josh taught Jintari how to make apps, he was on a workshop learning to code for the first time. And there's Josh teaching Amy and Fran. And Amy and Fran are from military families. Amy's family has been in San Francisco, actually. And so Josh went out there with me on behalf of the White House in the US, because we attended a round table on social inclusion. And then we got set out to train military families when they come back from war or whatever to retrain into new skill sets. One is technology, because there's very few people from military families over there which retrain and go into technology despite a huge demand for tech talent. Amy built her e-commerce site she wanted to build in 8 hours during that workshop, taught by Josh, who couldn't code a month before. And Fran, who's a 60-year-old admiral's wife, rebuilt her church website, including Open Graph Actions, during that 8-hour period as well. And she now is a rabid emailer asking for jQuery prototype.js questions on various things. So anyway, saying that, there's one really common thing about these people. None of them have got computer science degrees. So I often get into trouble because I'd rather have them renamed as computer Latin degrees or computer history degrees, because anything where you study for 3 years and what you learn at the end of it is obsolete, for me, is more like history or Latin than anything useful. So, none of them have computer science degrees. All of them have beaten people who have computer science degrees, and they work a lot faster than people who have computer science degrees. All of them are focused around the end result rather than the academic side of what they're building. All of them, because they've had that tremendous accelerated growth, are very safe bets as far as investment goes. So my hypothesis is, how can we get these so-called NEETs? How can we get young people, how can we get military families and retrain them? How can we take them from a perceived row of nowhere to be superstars? How can we find the genius in these people and draw them out? And can we do this for actually everyone, even those who we need to unlearn what they've learned through academia? How can we do this? And so far, just started, it seems to be working quite well. But also, how can we do that within organizations? So Freeformers, we do a one-for-one model. So we actually do this for organizations. We do the same courses. And it's not about learning to code. I don't really care about code. I care about making. I care about someone's ideas and turning that and liberating those ideas and talent to actually make something. And code is just one way of doing it and helps you do it. So we teach employees in corporates, and for every employee that goes on this kind of transformational experience, we then take someone from the other side of the world. So it's a joining of these extremes which matters for us, and that makes it sustainable. And at the same time, we invest in some of the best talent. And I think one of the things I'm trying to go for, the UK needs to innovate in order to grow and survive. And there's 3 elements of that. One is we need to innovate by investing in people of all sorts, not just the elite. Because if we're just investing in the elite, and say China and India, who've got more people, are investing in more than just the elite, we're kind of screwed. And they are. So we need to do something about that. The other thing is we need to invest in skills. And skills doesn't necessarily mean education as we know it, which, in my opinion, needs to be revolutionized and not evolutionized. I think it's revolution we need on that. And the third thing is we need to kind of work on community clusters and not just think about the individual, but whole community areas. And if we can start to do that, there is talent out there. And actually, within that talent, there's genius. It's just they don't know it, and we don't know it yet. But when you unleash it, it's out there. All right. Any questions as well, just let me know.